Alright, hi, Richard Moore here from 8-Step-Startup. I hope you're having a great day. It is New Year's Eve, and so I hope you're all raring to go for the new year. Many of you will be already looking at resolutions and things like that. It never stops, of course, for those of you who really want full success. You're not waiting until January 1st, you're already kicking off probably before then. And for many of you, like me, 2016's already started in a way. And in fact, in that sense, I was on the phone with someone earlier today who was asking me about objections. And they're asking for a little bit of advice on how to handle what comes up all the time with their particular service. They say they have the same kind of objections all of the time, and this particular objection this client had related specifically to something that a competitor of theirs provided as opposed to what they did. And John Hughes, who's the sales director for Red Bull, the energy drink, said to me that you always need to make sure you're aware of your what your competitive advantage is versus the market or competitors. So you always need to think, what are my points of differentiation? How am I different? And make use of those. But when it comes to objection handling, there's always there's a two-pronged point of attack that you need to bear in mind. So I call it the eradicate or spin approach. So a good approach with objections when it comes to handling them is to either completely eradicate them or to spin them into something positive. Now this has to take place, the setup for this, before you actually have your sales call or sales pitch. The reason being, you need to be prepared for it. So the best way to start with objections is to actually spend time scrutinizing your own product or service. What really is the point where you're different from competitors? What do competitors do or have that's better than you? Where are their potential problems? Are you priced higher than most in the market? Is there a little bit of an issue over quality, for instance, in what you're doing? What things might come up? So if you're going to be hypercritical about your own service, what things would you say, well, I don't know if that's quite up to scratch? Because that's potentially where the objections may lie. Okay? What you need to do is eradicate or spin. Eradicate means get rid of that potential objection. So, if there's no quality in your product, go get some better quality product. Simple as that, okay? If I was going to do video coaching like I'm doing here, and the videos were never any good because I was too nervous and couldn't look myself in the eye, well then I need to go improve. So that's eradicating that problem. The alternative, and sometimes it's the best thing to do, I think, is to spin an objection or a negative and make it a positive. Okay, classic example is if someone thinks your product's very highly priced compared with those others in the market or competitors you may have, well then you need to hit it head on with, absolutely, in fact I'm really pleased you've brought that up. Okay, and then simply talk about why your product is at a higher level. Okay, so rather than saying, yeah, I'm sorry, I know I charge a lot more than other people, oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice that, it needs to be a bit more along the lines of, yeah, there's a deliberate reason why, let me tell you. And it might be, you know, to dissuade certain groups of people from buying it. It might be because it represents a particular level of value that you provide in after sales, or whatever it might be. But spinning something positively, to get that right, it starts with you firstly listing where your potential problems are going to arise. And you'll get better at this once you start selling your product, of course, because you'll start getting real objections. Maybe some you never even thought of. But if you get the same ones over and over again, well, can you get rid of this problem? Can you actually solve it so that it never comes up? Okay? If everyone always has a problem, always, with paying the amount of money you ask for up front, well, can you solve the problem? Can you eradicate it by simply splitting the payment? Pay half now, and a half in 14 days or whatever. Does that get rid of the objection? Okay? Or spin it. Yeah, this is deliberate because we want to make sure there's no time wasters on our course, people wanting freebies, which would take time away from working with you, or whatever it might be, okay? So, can you do that? Eradicate or spin your objections. It's really simple, but it's a good way to work with what you've got without changing too much of your product line, okay? So, one is about changing the service, I suppose, to an extent. The other is about perception, okay, and creating a perception in your potential customer's mind that actually it's not a bad thing what they've raised. It's in fact a really big benefit. So make your objections into benefits, spin them into benefits, and you'll be a bit more effective with that. Hope that helps. I'll speak to you again soon. If I don't catch any of you before, and a lot of people are messaging me already for it, but have a great new year, and here's to 2016 success.